Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Morton. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the Director of Artist and Studio Programs here at Baltimore Clayworks, and we are thrilled that you all have joined us. I would like to acknowledge that I'm joining from my office, located on Piscataway and Susquehannock land, currently known as Baltimore, Maryland. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our virtual studio talk given today by Yu-Shan Cheng. Yu-Shan Cheng was born and grew up in New Taipei City, Taiwan. Currently a third-year student in the ceramics group of the Graduate School of Applied Arts, Tainan National University of the Arts, resident at the Keep in Touch International Porcelain Symposium in the Czech Republic in 2024, and graduated from the Bachelor of Fine Arts program at the National Taiwan University of the Arts in 2023. She works in a variety of media, including fabric, ceramics, threads, and beads. Her work focuses on ritual, sacred space, life, energy, spiritual exploration, inner psychology, body, and consciousness. For more information about our artist talks, please visit our virtual library at baltimoreclayworks.org. And I would like to take a moment to say thank you to Asian Arts and Culture at Towson University for their ongoing support of our Taiwan exchange program. I will now turn it over to Yu-Shan.
Hi everyone, my name is Yu-Shan Cheng. I was born and grew up in New Taipei City, Taiwan, currently studying in the Ceramic Group in Institute of Applied Arts at Tainan National University of the Arts. Before that, I majored in Fine Arts at National Taiwan University of Arts. In this presentation, I'm going to share the works I have created since 2020 and talk about how do I explore myself through different media and how my experience influence and evolve with each other, and also the works I created from my residency in Baltimore Clayworks the past 4 months. These are my professors, seniors, and classmates in Taiwan. I began studying painting when I was a child, so painting has been my main creative media until 2020. This piece was completed in 2020, a period when I focused on relationship and emotions. Most of the works at that time depict portraits. And this piece is my self-portrait from 2020. These are some of my sketch practice. Around 2020, I began questioning if I truly enjoyed the creative process and where is my desire in creation. I started looking inward, moving beyond merely repeating what I thought I was good at, and so I paused painting for a while. Then I started making stuffed dolls. I was fascinated by how once a fictional character was created, it seemed to exist in this world and gain public recognition. I'm also captivated by doll collecting, so I began designing and sewing dolls by myself. Creating their own worlds, I thoroughly enjoy the process of creating them. This is how I started playing with fabric. And at the same time, I joined the after-school club, and this is how I started ceramic. Like everyone else, I began my clay journey with simple functional works. When I first completed a small sculpture, I realized that I could create a work beyond my imagination through the guidance of the clay. This was something I couldn't achieve in painting, and precisely what had always frustrated me about painting. I became fascinated with clay, even with only 2 hours of club time per week. I bought clay to practice at home and slowly explore this material. Before entering graduate school, I hadn't completed many ceramic works, and those are also not mature enough, so I chose this one to show. For my final graduation project in university, I chose fabric as my main material. This work called Oven Entrance is divided in two spaces. This page shows the first space. enveloped in red velvet. So when the viewers came in, they stepped on the soft floor, walked in a dimly lit environment. A sound installation in this space simulates the sound of us being submerged in water. On the right side of this space, an egg is displayed in the process of hatching. To the left, an oval-shaped passageway leads the viewers to the second space. As viewers pass through the second space, they'll see a vagina, and they realize they have just participated in a process of their own birth, with the previous space symbolizing the womb. I aim to recreate a shared experience for all viewers, erasing individual differences at that moment, and returning us to the most original and pure moment of life. These are photos from the process. I experimented with dyes at first, intending to dye different fabric patterns separately, but later I realized the work was too large to calculate the dye. So after sewing it all together, I dyed it really like painting, and the result turns out surprisingly not bad. I used to rarely wear any accessories before I started making them. In 2021, I made a simple clay dough pendant into a necklace and wore it for a few months. Gradually, I felt myself connected with this object. It became a channel for me to communicate with my inner self, bringing me a sense of calm and peace in my mind. So I started making necklaces, see them as amulets, combined with different elements and characteristics. People's selection process will be inspired by their own personal experience. I hope that people who wear it will regard it as a part of themselves and have a spiritual connection with it. With time and more experiment, the accessory I made continued to evolve with this core concept. It's too much to put all of the pictures here, but you can visit my Instagram account, Tiny Buggy, if you're interested. The accessories making journey has also provided significant inspiration for my works after. This work was the first piece I completed after entering graduate school. At that time, my knowledge of this material is not enough, so I keep the rock clay texture that I also like it, and this is the first time I tried a bigger scale. Over the past few years, I've been deeply interested in the working of my inner world, always trying to understand the invisible through the visible. This work is about how I feed the animal within me with my thoughts. Its lives within me and its growth depends on what kind of thoughts I feed. When I feed it anxiety, anger, and distrust, it grows threatening and aggressive. Conversely, when I feed it trust, creativity, and positivity, it also feels content, treat me gently, and help me grow. This work also wants to talk about how the thoughts in our mind shape the external world we see. When people say, I see you, it's not only that I know you, understand you, but also that I share a deeper connection with you. Thoughts reflect through the eyes of the heart, viewing from a higher perspective that penetrates the surface to perceive the truth. Last year, I participated in Keep in Touch International Porcelain Symposium in Taipei, the Czech Republic. During this month, we would complete a piece of work and hold a group exhibition titled Only Treasure Left to Last. During the first week, we began discussing our project with the curators and started working on it. And we had a workshop weekend on the first weekend. They invited several artists to give us artist talk and demonstration. That was inspiring. We have a very regular life with a car picking us up from the dormitory and dropping us off at the studio every day. So we almost stay together 24 hours every day. The only limit at the time was the material. We had to create our works with local porcelain. Actually, I'm used to using clay with a rough texture, so this was an experience that made me use materials that I wouldn't have thought of using otherwise. The inspiration for this piece came from the powerful spiritual support I felt when I'm wearing necklace. I researched the historical significance of beads and noticed the concept of rosary beads, even though I don't have any particular religion. And there is a mistake in this photo in the lower right corner that the beads holes should be aligned with each other. I presented this work in a video in the end. The word bead originates from the meaning of prayer, and rosary signifies garden, garland, and beaded necklace. The rosary serves as a convenient portable device for counting prayers. Its purpose is to assist prayer in accurately repeating the precise number of incantation required by their faith from memory. When I scale the rosary to fully encircle a person, the necklace transforms into a sacred space, like the concept of temple. The installation in the video have totally 24 beads. I gave each of them different meanings. All of these elements are important to me in being able to exist at this moment. So what I did in this video is before crossing each beads, I took the time to think about the element it represented. I feel it, I spoke to it. I expressed gratitude and then move on. I used my body to count the beats, and it was a ceremony of pure sensation led only for myself. These are the photos at the exhibition venue at that time. And these are the photos from the opening that day, which was also the final day of it. This piece combines the common symbols of the 7 main energy centers and their representative colors with the organic characteristic of plants. By repeated glazing and firing, I try to express the state of life in the process of growing and healing. In Indian yoga, chakras are energy centers located throughout the body. Each chakra governs a different aspect of mind, perception, and emotions, and is also closely connected to the physiological state. I started from the symbol. Imagine how a two-dimensional symbol transforms into a three-dimensional, visible form. I imagine when people view it from above, this sculpture will become two-dimensional, and this concept extending into the works I made during my residency in Baltimore Clayworks. It was also with this piece that I began exploring how to create seamlessly dynamic surface textures through the layers of glazes, a direction that continued into the works I made during my residency. These photos were all taken in Baltimore, most of which I took during my daily 13-minute walk from home to the studio. I had no experience with plants, but walking the same route every day and observing them was amazing as I noticed how quickly they change through their different stage of growth. I usually don't sketching out a complete form before beginning my work. Instead, I think about part of the shape through the photos and start creating. As the piece grows to a certain stage, I continued imagining how it might extend further. I need to continue to feel guided by the creative process itself. These are process photos. This is my first attempt at planning the colors. The color plan provides me with a board direction with deciding how each layer of glaze will be stacked. I know I cannot fully control the complexity of how multiple glazes interact, but also I don't want to control it too precisely, and I want to leave room for natural cooperation with the glaze. Now I'm going to show the glazing process for each piece. Well, I didn't really note every layer, but you can still see the gradual transformation of each work throughout the process. Sometimes I wasn't even sure what recipe I used, because I like to randomly mix something together instead of wasting the materials. Although they look like plants, but I don't really talk about plants themselves by symbolizing their forms, characteristic, and different stage of growth. I attempt to point to the inner force in all beings that make us moving forward. Express the process of life keep experiencing, growing, and self-healing. I will gradually show each step of their process and their final result. I haven't counted exactly how many times each piece was fired, but all of these works were fired about 3 to 10 times. I created this piece in two parts and only combined them with glaze during the last few firings. This is the Untitled 3 of the Metamorphosis series. The works in this exhibition are divided into two series, the Metamorphosis series and the Symbol of Life series. As you can see, the glaze will flow a lot, so I put a lot of aluminum hydrate on the shelf. I aim to express the continuous flow of energy in motion through layering glazes and repeated firings. I cannot predict after which firing I can stop it, yet knowing I can keep refining it until I am satisfied with it, this work can always be in a state of in progress for me. The Symbol of Life series also captures the growth characteristic of plants. After I knew that a wall would be available for me to display in the show, I feel that it's perfectly aligned with my conception of the work. I expect viewers to watch them from above. Viewing from different angles responds to the transformation between two-dimensional and three-dimensional. This is how they look like in the menu. I titled this exhibition Becoming in Motion. I have always been drawn to the process of interaction and balance between the inner spiritual world and the visible outer world. In my interaction with the material, I can consciously control color and texture, but more importantly is the result of each firing determining my next step. It's a continuous process of feeling, choosing, and negotiating. This resonates with my philosophy of life, avoiding over control while recognizing that I have choices and flowing naturally within the universe arrangements. As I begin to explore deeper, the unknown of the material no longer bring me fear, but rather surrender and trust. I'm deeply grateful to Baltimore Clayworks for providing a space to showcase my residency outcomes and to everyone who supported me in these 4 months. Special thanks to Andrea, Dave, Juliana, Owen, and also Bacho and Moots for taking care of me and letting me stay with them in this summer. Thank you all for listening.